Two men face the same disaster. One shatters, the other grows quiet, steady, almost dangerous. Same blow, same loss. The difference was decided long before it landed. Mental toughness is not something you're born with. It's something you build on purpose. The Stoics had a forge for it. Let me hand you the blueprint. Here's the lie modern life sold you, that the goal is to avoid all hardship. Smooth everything. Remove every risk. Never feel pain. So you arrive at your first real blow with no armor at all, and it breaks you, because you were never built to bear weight. A man with no toughness lives in constant fear. Fear of failure, of judgment, of loss. Because deep down he knows he cannot survive them. So he shrinks his life to fit his fragility. He calls it being careful. It is being weak. Toughness isn't being made of stone, feeling nothing. It's being made of iron, taking the strike and staying standing. And iron is not found. Iron is forged. Epictetus was a slave whose master once broke his leg. He didn't flinch. He simply said, "There it is. I told you it would break." He had already accepted it before it happened. That is the first secret. It is never the event that breaks you. The event is one arrow. The story you tell about it, "This is unbearable, this ruins everything," is a second arrow, and you fire that one yourself. Toughness is learning to stop firing it. Between what happens and how you respond, there is a space. In that space is all your power. Marcus Aurelius led Rome through plague, war, and betrayal. His armor was a single idea: the obstacle is the way. Every hardship is not an interruption of your path. It is the path. It is the exact resistance your strength was waiting for. The storm doesn't break the strong man. It's the only thing that ever made him strong. So how do you forge it? Deliberately, starting today. The third is the one weak men spend their whole lives running from. It's where the iron is made. Move one. When something hits you, split it in two. What actually happened? Just the fact, bare and cold. And what you're telling yourself about it. The story, the catastrophe, the meaning. I lost the job is a fact. My life is over, I'm worthless is a story. Only one of them is true. Strike the second arrow out of your own hand. Deal only with the fact, and the fact is almost always survivable. Marcus did it daily. Strip the event of your panic and ask, what is actually here, right now? Most of your suffering was never the event. It was the movie you played about it. Move 2. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Each morning, briefly and calmly, imagine what could go wrong. The loss, the rejection, the failure. Not to torture yourself, to rob the future of its power to ambush you. Seneca said the unexpected blow lands heaviest, so make nothing unexpected. When you have already lived through the worst in your mind 100 times, it cannot shatter you in reality. You walk toward the future like a man who has read the whole script. Calm, because nothing in it is new. Move 3, the one that actually makes the iron. You cannot think your way to toughness. You forge it only by doing hard things, voluntarily, over and over. Pick the difficult task, take the heavy weight, have the conversation you dread. Finish what your body begs you to quit. Toughness is built at the exact point you want to quit, and don't. That's the only place it lives. Every time you choose the hard thing and survive it, you write one unbreakable line into yourself: I am someone who does not fold. Do it enough, and that stops being a hope. It becomes a fact. The world will keep sending storms. You stop praying for fewer of them. You become the kind of man who is almost grateful, because each one makes you harder to kill. Toughness was never about feeling nothing. It's about taking the strike and staying on your feet. Separate the fact from the story. Rehearse the worst until it loses its teeth. Then walk into the fire again and again until standing through pain is simply who you are. Do this, and the thing every other man fears, adversity, becomes the very thing that builds you. They get smaller with every blow. You get harder. That is the whole difference between a life. Start today. Choose one hard thing you'd rather avoid and walk straight into it. Forge one line of iron. If this hits something in you, subscribe and become a man the storms can't break. Because once you can take the blow without breaking, there's one fire left to master, the one that burns hottest inside you and wrecks more men than any enemy, your own anger.